Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to another POV review. Today we're going to be checking out this 2012 Opel Astra OPC, which is their most sporty model. And like I said, 2012 car, so it's already 9 years old, but regardless of that, it's actually a pretty good drive. So I'll show you guys around the car, show you how she drives, and yeah, just give my general verdict. So this is equipped with the optional 19-inch wheels. Standard you would get 18-inch wheels, and I think they look pretty sharp. Now this nice coupe-esque form factor, and also you get nice double exhausts. And now I think this color looks really good, especially in the sun, this bluish metallic. And if I show you guys inside, very big doors considering it's a coupe basically. So you get these really nice leather seats with lots of bolstering on the side, few blue accents, but in general it's just a normal Opel interior. So let me jump in, start her up, and show you guys under the hood. So foot on the clutch, good old-fashioned key with the OPC logo on it. And she roars into life. Now this central display, you have some options to go through. You can select the G-meet, lap time, and also your regular temperatures, and it's pretty cool that you get to do that. So let me give her some revs so you can hear what she sounds like. Now she sounds pretty good actually. So let me pop the hood. Gonna complain and show you what's underneath. Alright, so underneath the hood is a 2-liter turbo, producing 280 brake horsepower and 400 Newton meters of torque. And yeah, under here it's not much to see. Opel turbo, just the regular thing. So let me close her up again and get into the driver's seat to take her for a drive. But before we do that, I'd like to show you this cool thing. So to open your rear hatch, you would think, let me just put my hand under here, there's a button, but there isn't. Actually, you have to press the Opel logo, and then you are greeted with a pretty large, pretty large trunk. However, downside is you have a really high load lip, so for getting groceries in and out, it's probably not the greatest. Alright, so downside with this being, this having such big doors is that when I want to put on my seatbelt, I have to reach all the way over here, which I can barely reach. And then we click in and we're ready to go. Now these seats, they have bolsters that you can adjust with some buttons, so you can change the bolstering on the bottom of the seat and also on the top. So you're able to snug up, really depending on your body size, I guess. Now, good old-fashioned, just regular gauges, and you have these really large amount of buttons in the center. This one is not equipped with the navigation, so you just get this red-looking display in the center where you can control your radio from and your aux and stuff. These two buttons are the most fun. Let me turn off Eco because I think that start-stop. OPC is the one where the suspension firms up the most, and also your throttle response. And yeah, let me just show you how she drives and get on the road. So let's go. All right, finally out of the parking lot, and now we can show her. Now we can show you how she does. All right, let me put her into OPC. And like I said before, this button actually changes quite a lot, except for the, not only the steering feel and the throttle response, but also the dampers. So this is equipped with a magnetic ride system, which means that the dampers, they firm up depending on what mode you have selected. And it actually makes quite a big difference, because you can definitely feel how much more firm it is when you put it in OPC mode. Sport, it's a little bit less, and if you don't have any of the modes selected, it's just your regular, well, I guess comfort mode, and you do definitely notice a very big difference. Now this car is also equipped with Brembo brakes, and funny thing is that it also has a limited slip diff, a mechanical one, on the front wheels to prevent torque steer, and it actually makes quite a bit of difference, because if you full throttle it, you're able to get most of the power down, which is pretty cool. Now we're gonna make a left here, and we can open her up a bit as soon as the light turns green. So you have some pretty serious kit on this, and I do think that this car is quite underrated. It's not that popular. There are also not many around, but this is basically a straight competitor to the Renault Megane RS, which also has about the same amount of horsepower and is basically the same recipe. A 3-door coupe hatchback with almost 300-ish horsepower and a 2-liter turbo. So I would be quite curious to see how that drives, so maybe in the future I'll get a chance for that. But like I said, in general, pretty serious kit on this for a quite understated car. Now you do notice that this is horsepower from about 10 years ago, so big turbo gap. Let me give her some gas. As you can see, she gets up to speed. This 280 brake horsepower, 400 Newton meter, 2-liter turbo definitely gives you all the power you would want. And stopping wise, these Brembo brakes are great. Like, they really grab on tight, and I think they're a great addition to this, because if you want to go quick, you also have to have proper braking power. Plenty of fast. Now you do really hear very great amount of turbo whistle, turbo noise. You can just hear it whooshing around, and I do think it sounds nice. You definitely notice once the turbo starts to spool up. I'm not sure at which RPM it starts, but as soon as it does, you do notice that pushing your back, just that little bit more old-fashioned power. So about 10 years ago, they would just slap a big turbo on it and go. And you do notice it. I think it's fun to drive because you can really lean into the torque, and I think it's in general a pretty fun experience to drive. Now it does weigh 1,450 kilograms dry, which I do think is quite a lot. It's a pretty heavy car, and you definitely notice that when you're chucking it in a corner. Now steering wise, I am not sure I am a huge fan of just the steering wheel itself. It's just a regular Opel steering wheel, and though it has some side bolstering, I don't think it holds that nice in your hands, and I don't think the steering wheel, they really nailed it that well. But the suspension is really good in OPC mode. It's very well balanced, which I think is great for a car like this. If you were to have to pick between, let's say, a Golf GTI 2012, a Golf 5 or 6, I think 6, and this, I would probably go for the Golf, even though the Golf will have less power because it only has about 200 brake horsepower standard, but I do think it's a better balanced package, and the interior definitely stands up nicer over time. So you get a 6-speed manual transmission for that real engagement, which I think is good. Clutch feels all right, and the shifting is all right. Perhaps the gearbox could have been a little bit tighter, but that's just something to my likings. Now this interior hasn't aged so well when it comes down to rattles. When you're at higher speeds or a very uneven road surface, you notice that stuff rattles around quite a bit. I'm not sure where it's coming from. I think somewhere off the dashboard, but it's a bit of a shame actually, because otherwise it's not a bad interior. Now let's overtake this RAV4. Carry some speed into this corner, and you can see she does all right. Fun car to drive, great fun. Funny thing is, Opel also gives you, like I stated before, this this little display in the center, which you can actually do some stuff on. Let me go through this corner first, and then I'll show you. Yeah, fun times. So you have this little scroll wheel over here. You can go through a lap timer, G meter, which I think is really funny, and just your cooling temperature. You can also click on this menu button over here, and you can see your average consumption, speed, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, just the stuff that you would imagine to find. So if you're in the market for something like this, I would consider checking out the Megane RS as well, which I think may even be a bit better balanced car. Now here in the Netherlands, they hardly sold these OPC ones, which is a shame because it's fun. They hardly sold any, and Megane RS has been sold quite a lot more here. I think it was more popular as well. And you also get nice seats, Recaros. Mito is also giving it some gas. Maybe it's a QV. So at slight higher speeds, it does all right as well, or slight higher speed, just highway speeds. You have plenty of power to do an overtake move, and if I'm in 6th gear and I punch it, builds up pressure and then it goes. Now we have a nice looking S7, I think, in my mirror that looks to be in a bit of a rush. So let me either speed up and get out of his way. We're not getting out of his way this time. But you can hear the rattle in the door. It's really, really annoying. It's a bit of a shame, because otherwise it's it's a nice car. But these 10-year-old cars, they still do all right, but not my forte, I would think. So I keep comparing this to my Golf 8 GTE, which has 250 brake horsepower and also 400 Newton meters of torque, but it feels so much more different. Now, that isn't that strange, because you have the electric motor in my Golf that supports everything, which means that down low, even though it is of course also a turbo engine, down low it fills up that gap, which I think works pretty good. But these cars have aged all right, I think. That's not an S7. These putting on badges of a car that isn't right. I thought in the grill to see that it's an S7, but it isn't actually. It's probably just a I don't know what kind of engines they sold them in. Maybe if it's a 3-liter V6, you're still doing not necessarily very bad. But yeah, that's pretty much going to call it for this review, guys. It's been probably a relatively short one. This was fun. Hope to get my hands on many more cars in the future. We do have some stuff going on. So if you want to see more of my reviews, you enjoyed it, or you have anything you'd like me to change, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a like. And if you want to see more of my content in the future, be sure to subscribe. And thank you very much, guys, for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.